The following podcast is a next level production.
Hello?
Nani, hi.
Kamala? Is that you, beta?
Is it okay if you move the phone a little further back? I can't see you.
Oh, why don't you write to me? I wait for the post every day.
Yeah, I'll get on that.
Did you get my gifts? Huh?
Yeah, look, about the bangle.
What about? Wait, which one? What?
The bangle, it does some really weird things, and it's
That bangle belonged to my mother, Aisha.
the one who disappeared during partition, my great-grandmother, Aisha.
Hey panelists, welcome back to the show. I'm Mark.
And I'm Steve.
And this is a spoiler-full podcast about Ms.Marvel Season 1, Episode 2, entitled Crushed.
Crushed.
So, Steve, what is the synopsis for this particular episode?
Well, short and to the point, Kamala and Bruno explore the source of her newfound powers just in time for a perilous adventure.
That is true.
Pretty short, to the point.
Short, sweet. That's all we need. But what were your overall thoughts about this particular episode?
I think we got everything, again, just like we just talked about with the boys. I think we got almost everything we asked for, that we were asking for from last week's episode. The only thing for me, I will say, the first time I watched it in that cold open when she's coming into the school, I was like, what is this a daydream or cause it was all the reactions were the, exact opposite of the first episode when she entered the school. And so I was a little confused at first. And then when it just kept going, I went, well, I guess she's just found a newfound confidence because of her powers. And people are seeing that, and they're, if you carry yourself with a certain amount of confidence, people are going to see that, and they're not going to react in certain ways. Like the guy with the basketball, not the one that she played with, but the one that she stopped. So I thought that was really cool that this character has grown very suddenly into this very confident. But then by the end of the episode, we see her kind of losing a little bit of confidence. So, but I'm sure we'll talk more about that. But yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, this episode was fun overall, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of eye-awakening for me for how Amask is, the religion, how they're viewing of women within that particular religion, too. And it was pretty interesting. I'm glad we got a lot of this diversity in this world now where they can present these things to us so we can learn something. Because a lot of people just walk around with blinders. They don't know anything about somebody else's culture. And to me, I like that. I know a lot of people who are Muslim. I have a friend, his name is Mark too, and he kind of introduced that to me in the 90s, but this elaborated more on that for me, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I really love the idea of the training on the rooftop with Bruno and her.
That was great.
That was so cool. I liked that we got a little bit more of her friend Nakia in it.
We got a lot more. in Nakia.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that we said last week, because, we only had like 2 or 3 brief scenes with her where she said a couple of lines and then we didn't see her. This episode, we get her through the whole thing just about.
Yeah. And their relationship too. Because they're almost like sisters, if you think about it, the way they treat each other. Mm-hmm. And I think they're cousins. I think they
I think the aunt and uncle thing, I think that's just a term of endearment. That they use that because she calls all the aunties and all the uncles the uncles.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like a term that it, like I have. There's lots of people in my life that, because I'm a single man with no wife and no children. So there's lots of kids that call me Uncle Steve that are
same here.
Yeah.
yeah. I know the feeling.
So I think that's all it is. I think it's just a term that they use for any older male, older female in their life. But that's why it makes it so easy for that lie to come out when she lies to the brother about who he is at the diner. She says, "Oh, this is our cousin," whatever. And he changes his voice. I thought that was a great scene where he's talking British with his British accent, and the brother's like, "Well, why are you talking in a British accent?" He goes, "Oh," and then he slips into the Pakistani Indian kind of accent. And I will admit, I don't know world history, geography of India, Bangladesh, Pakistan. I'm sorry, listeners. I did a little bit of a Wikipedia investigation kind of thing, or research to try to understand what they were talking about with that whole partition thing. And so apparently, I guess India, or part of India, is no longer India. It's now two separate.
Yes.
It's Bangladesh and Pakistan. And so, and that's kind of where that when the British left and there was just kind of a civil war to break out to who would be in control of the country. So.
Yeah. And we get a little history lesson too within the show.
And I may research some more about that just to understand it more, because it's not clear, and they weren't 100% clear on it, because obviously you know it's interesting, they're portraying these people who have had these very traumatic events happen within their lives. I mean, they were children. You know, the mother was just a child when this happened, because it was the great grandmother who was the one that disappeared, not the grandmother who she talked to on the phone.
Yes.
So I got that when I watched that. I finally got that cleared up in my head. In the second watch that I did here recently, it was the great grandmother that disappeared. She talks to her grandmother on the phone.
Yes.
And I think the grandmother was the one the story was about. And the mother was a little child when this all happened.
Came to play.
So,
yep.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's interesting to get this other countries and other histories that we here in America are not usually exposed to, and other countries. You know, it's one of those weird things, as from American standpoint. Probably there's a lot of other countries that probably study some American history just because, you know.
Yeah.
But we don't study a lot of. We have, you know, I think I remember taking one world history class, but I couldn't tell you anything about it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, same here. I was terrible at history, but it does intrigue me too, because once you get somebody who actually gives it to you in some media form, so you can understand it better, it helps. Right. And I like that about this. Yeah,
yeah. I love that we're opening this up. This, and I said that last week when we were talking about Moon Knight is a diverse culture, and now we have this one that's a diverse culture. So it's cool that Disney is opening us up to these things.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, we should move into our highlights.
Sure.
Our favorite highlights within the episode.
No, Kamala, somebody stole my shoes. My new Versace's.
And the monster thief has struck again.
We got way more. We already kind of talked a little bit about it. We got way more of Nakia in this episode, the girl who was wearing the hijab. And I thought that was great. I loved that moment. And it took me the second watch to figure out what they were doing when they went to the mosque and they were at the faucets. They were washing the makeup off their face.
Because that's what that was.
That's the only thing I can figure they were doing, is probably because in that culture, they're probably not supposed to wear makeup. And so they had to wash the makeup off their face before they would go into the prayer meeting, the mosque, or where that area of the mosque. And of course, then we see that Kamala puts one on. But I love that conversation they have in the bathroom where Nakia says, you know, that she wasn't white enough for the white people and she wasn't ethnic enough for ethnic people.
Yeah.
And so she started wearing the hijab to think it would help, but it didn't end up helping anything. And so now she just wears it because it's part of her. It's who she is. And how I love that self-confidence she has of, I'm just going to be me. This is who I am. I'm going to be this person, and the world can do whatever it wants. I'm gonna wear what I want. I'm gonna believe what I want. And I thought that was really kind of nice and kind of great. But I love that. I love their relationship. And even though they have different takes on it and different, you know, of that culture, they still are friends and they're still good friends.
Yeah. And the funny thing too about that, it shows like it's still Americanized because the girls in the mosque itself during the I guess you could call it a service that they were having. They have their phones, they're Instagramming.
Yeah, and the one woman takes it away. Yeah, I love. Yeah, that was great to get to see that kind of, like you said, that culture that we don't normally see. You know, and her speaking up, and the sheik saying, "Well, I'm glad you're here today, but don't interrupt my lesson." Basically, is what he was saying, and he's like, these partitions and all these things are here. I thought it was interesting that he used the same word, partition, that's used about the Civil War between the males and the females here in the mosque. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah. And it's falling apart, too, according to them. Yeah. They got mold underneath the rugs. They just put slap a poster over something that's falling apart. You could see the pipes are not working. So, you know, Nakia's like, I got to get this. So, and then they're washing their feet, they're washing their hands, they're washing their face. Yeah, it shows that it's like not being taken care of. And obviously, you know, how they're separate because women are left to the back and all the men have all the good seats in the front.
Yeah. So I thought that was great. I thought it was great that Kamala convinces her to run for the mosque board. And so even though I'm assuming they're like 16, I guess she's getting her driver's license, so she must be 16.
Yeah, at least 16.
Point. They're 16, 17.
Yeah, 16 is when you start getting your learner's permit in New York and New Jersey. And then by the time you're 17, you have a full license.
Okay. Yeah. And so it's cool that she has this opportunity to run for the board. And, you know, like she's, and again, I've got some more about it in my notes later, but I love that at the Eid, how they had all that little celebration. She had all those different groups that she was going to have to interact with. And then when she went and interacted with Kamala's father, she's like telling him, well, can you vote for me? And he's like, well, this guy's my best friend and he's running. And she's like, well, but I'm Kamala's best friend. So you should vote for me, you know, and we're women and we're finally women getting the right to vote and all this kind of thing. She's playing to that kind of side of it to go, give us this power. You've given us this power to vote. Let us do it. So yeah, I love this character of Nakia. I didn't catch exactly how it's pronounced. So
I say Nakia.
Nakia. Okay. This of Nakia. Sometimes they call her Nax, which that confused me for a while because I thought they were calling her Mags, and I was like, where are they getting that name from? But I think it was Nax they were calling her.
Probably.
But yeah, I love this character, and I'm glad we're getting more of her.
Yeah, same here. She's a very interesting character. I think because if you, not to shoot into the future ahead, scene when they're leaving the party and they're in the car, I already said it, I thought Bruno had like a crush on Kamala at one point. But I could see Nakia and him getting involved later on.
Oh, maybe, but I was more the impression that she was kind of making fun of him because he's crushing on Kamala.
She was definitely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying. There could be a playful kind of thing between them. Could be a Xander Cordelia kind of thing.
And then and I wouldn't be surprised if Nakia actually learns of Kamala's powers at a later point.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's gonna happen here. It's got to happen sometime, especially now that we see the end of this episode where Camran is revealed to know something about her because this woman, his mother, the woman in the back of the car, the credits did not identify who she was. I did screenshot the credits. I was trying to figure out. There was no credited person for Camram's mom. They didn't say her name, so I don't know what she's credited as in the credits. They did credit, though, the one female agent in the credits, and this is kind of going off on the point we were doing now, but is credited as DODC agent Cheever. Okay. And then the other guy is just the guy is just agent, whatever his name is. So it is the Department of Damage Control. That's actually in the credits. So
awesome. So we got an actual confirmation now.
That tie into the MCU. Yeah,
exactly.
For sure. Or at least maybe an alternate.
And to speak about it, it's Alicia Rayner, who is Agent Sadie Deaver, which is part of
okay,
yeah, over the for the DoD. And I recognized her from something, and it was bothering me, so I had to look it up. And yep, she was the head of the prison in Orange Is the New Black.
Oh,
that's where I remembered her from.
Okay,
so I thought that was pretty cool that we got her.
Yeah. But getting back to the whole Bruno, Kamala, Camran thing, Nakia, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, because that would be an interesting twist to have Nakia, and if Kamala actually does get with Cameron, it would be interesting to see Bruno and Nakia maybe kind of, but I think you're going to have the same culture clash that he got with Kamala.
Correct.
But I think we did talk about it, but I think we talked about it in regards to him not having any romantic feelings towards her in the first episode. We thought more of a brother-sister kind of thing, but this one, it's obvious in this one that he feels way strongly for her than she does for him. And she doesn't even, the funny thing is, it's just like, it's normally in television shows and movies, she doesn't realize it, but everybody else around her realizes it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's kind of oblivious to it.
Yeah.
You also see that with Bruno too, with the counselor, the school counselor, and he could get into this, what was it? I forget which college.
Caltech.
Mm-hmm. And he didn't want to leave because he doesn't want to leave Kamala, obviously.
Yeah.
So that these are little clues and clued in. And you see his jealousy, obviously, within the car. When they talk about, when Cameron and Kamala are just, like, talking over, it's like, oh, you're a Bollywood fan? Oh, of course I am. And then, it's like, do you like, what movie do you think is the best? Bazagar. So, and then, of course, Bruno says, I saw it once.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. The fact that Cameron, once she got in the car with Cameron and his mom, her face when I looked at it, and you could tell me if I'm wrong, but was that the woman that Kamala sees?
I see, and that's where I'm confused about, because it certainly looked like her, but I'm like, if she's seeing a vision of her great grandmother, how could this be her great grandmother? So I don't know. Maybe she's seeing a vision. I don't know. I'm right there with you. I was a little confused. The very first time when they showed the woman in the back seat, I was like, oh, that's the woman she's been seeing in the vision. Mm. And then Cameron says it's his mother. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. That can't be the woman she's seeing. If she's seeing her great grandmother in these visions, well, maybe she's not seeing her great grand. I don't know. So I think that's something, that's the mystery. I had that, the mystery is, what are these flashbacks she's having? And we assume they're flashbacks to the partition and they talked about, the woman disappearing on the train. But, so I think it's going to be something that's going to be revealed later.
What it is exactly.
Yeah.
My thought first was like, okay, it looks like her. If it is her, maybe this is Kamala's kind of spider sense, and the power is giving her of like, this is the enemy, or this is the bad guy, the big bad, or whatever. Because there's always a big bad in any of these shows. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's why, and that's why Cameron was kind of snuggling up to her, trying to get in her good graces, and that way his mother has a way in to get to Kamala at some point, because she has this bangle, and maybe that is why she's going after her.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this whole thing plays out. It's definitely got me intrigued enough to want to watch the next episode when it comes out. So
same here. One that I liked, the training montage.
I loved it.
It was so fun to see that. Her learning of powers. They are not exactly from the bangle itself. It basically enhances something within her and her creativity.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting that he was able to, with his iPad or whatever, he was able to scan her. Yep. And he said the power isn't coming from the bangle. Maybe the bangle unlocked it, is what he says.
Meaning that it's something within her. Yep. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was pretty cool. They give an actual name for the powers, calling it hard light. Mm-hmm. That was pretty cool. The one cute scene is when she's trying to walk on the hard light itself, and she falls and she's holding on, and then he's like, he goes, you gotta drop. You think she's high up. No, it's just the next platform down.
Yeah, it's just, that was great. That scene had me rolling both times when I watched it, because the first time I was like, wait a minute, how high up are they? And she's just saying, let go of me. And then he lets go and she just kind of drops 3 feet. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what the big deal was here. So yeah, I love that fake out. That was a really good fake out for us.
Yep. I just love, we already spoke about Nakia and everything, that whole scene where they go, and it reminded me of my Italian family, how you have certain people, they all go in their little groups. They talk about the aunties. They talk about this section, that section. I can't remember them all. I should have wrote them down.
I've got a couple. Oh, I've got a couple of them here. There was the Mosque Bros, and then there was the Pious something. There was the Pious something that she said, like the Pious Parishioners or something like that, that were the boys who were like more, traditional. And then she said the mini Hammurabi girls. And then there was another couple groups. And then of course the Illuminantes. I thought it was great. The Illuminantes were great. So, kind
of like a reference to the Illuminati in the MCU.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know if you caught this, but Bruno was giving me flashes of Marty McFly with his getup. With
the sunglasses and that
orange
vest
and the flannel. And I'm like, wow. Is he trying to be like Michael J. Fox?
Yeah, I didn't catch that. But now that you say that, when he had the sunglasses down on his nose, I was kind of like, "What is that familiar? Why is that familiar to me?" And that's what it was. It's Marty McFly. So, yeah, that's great. I loved Zoe's interrogation when they, the police come and they take Zoe in because she's had contact with the superhero. And at first the guy is being all nice to her and saying like, "Oh, we all follow you here. And we loved your popcorn video," or whatever. And then when they get deeper into the interrogation, he actually starts to get mean. And then the woman comes in and she's like, "Well, who is she? Did she have an accent? Was she Asian? Was she Latinx? What was she?" And then they figure out that, okay, she doesn't know who she is. She kind of knows what she looks like. So they figure out to look at all the temples, mosques, and community centers in the area. And that's eventually how they do find her. So,
yeah. And the cool part about that scene, we'll go right into it. This is the, scene, of course, when Kamala saves the boy from the top of the mosque. He was climbing up there for who knows what.
Instagram.
That's right. Instagram.
He's taking pictures with his phone.
She gets him to land on the hard light, as it were, for the platform. And he's there. And then she gets distracted.
By that vision. We're still not sure.
And then, the kid winds up hurting his leg in the end. But she did save him at one point. But then we see her running, because the DOD is there, and they got drones that look like Stark drones. Mm-hmm. And they're coming after her, and she was able to elude them. And that was pretty cool.
That was great. And I love that scene because we see the emotion on her voice and how she's distraught over the fact that she almost let this kid die. Yeah. You can see that. Like, she hasn't articulated that yet, but you could definitely see the emotion on her voice and hear it in her breath when she was so upset that she almost could have caused this kid's, not save this kid. And what would have happened? What would have happened to her then? Like you said, all he hurt was like his ankle, and he would have died. So, yeah. So I don't know if something's going to come back with that, because they're always, ever since the whole Sokovia Accords and everything, they always come back to superheroes and why they're bad for whatever.
Yeah, pretty much like the Soups in The Boys, if you think about it. Yeah, it's like they're trying to stop them.
But she's got to change that name. She's got to get that name changed. Nightlight that's not a good name.
No, it's not at all.
And did you catch her do the superhero land when she jumped from the hard light to the roof? And she does the Black Widow superhero land. I thought was great. I just loved seeing that.
That was pretty cool.
Yep.
A lot of the stuff I liked within the episode was the music. And very much like what we talked about with Moon Knight, I just love the ethnic music that's in there, because they kind of put a modern mix of that ethnic music, and it shows what Disney Plus is doing with this stuff, just opening our ears as well as our eyes to all this cool and interesting ethnic work, and world that we have.
Very, very cool.
I just pulled everything that I had from my notes, but
I think that's everything I've got. We talked about the rescue a little bit. The mosque shoe thief.
Yes.
I can't wait. I want to see how this plays out throughout the rest of the season. Or I hope this isn't just a one-off thing to where we're gonna. Because she said she's had 22 pairs of shoes stolen, and that other little kid kind of sticks her head and goes, "The mosque shoe thief strikes again," and then goes away. And I'm like, who is this little kid? So yeah, I thought that was great. The mosque shoe thief. I can't wait to hear what that is.
A quote that I actually liked was with Kamala and the kid on the roof or on the mosque, top of the mosque. And she's trying to save him. She's trying to calm him down. She goes, well, what's your favorite food? And the boy says, ice cream pizza. And she goes, is that 2 foods or 1? And the kid was like, no, it's 2. It's like,
I put ice cream on pizza. Ew.
That's gross. But that's an interesting take.
Yeah. And then, of course, all the hashtags and all the people that were ice cream pizza on the social media stuff.
Yep. It all shows up. Blah, 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 blah.
Yep. The only quote I've got is from that beginning montage where she's entering the school and she walks up to the people who are blocking her lockers and she says, you know what I love about AirPods is that you don't actually have to stand this close to each other. Love you guys. I'm rooting for you. Favorite couple. And then she just leaves. I actually had to pause that so I could get that whole pause it and back it up and pause it because I wanted to get that exact quote. I just thought it was so interesting. Again, it just played into the fact that she has this newfound confidence. Because remember, the last time when she asked them to get away from her locker, they kind of gave her the cold shoulder and she was just like, okay, I guess I'll just Google the periodic table, you know.
Yeah.
But this time she actually tells them, she actually physically moves them and says, scoot, you know. So I thought it was great. I can't wait to, again, it's just, this is a very fun character. It's been a while. I think maybe Peter Parker, but it's really been a while since we've had a fun character like this.
Or Ant-Man, things of that nature.
I guess Ant-Man. Yeah, Ant-Man in a way is also, we get a little bit of him. And I love that line where she compares herself to, she was trying to do the powers of Ant-Man. And she says, both of us look younger than we are, which is a whole thing about Paul Rudd. Everybody says he looks way younger than he is.
It is true.
Yeah. So I thought that was great. Yeah. I really love all the little things that Disney's putting into this show.
Yeah, they have a way of poking fun even at the reality of the world that we live in too.
Yeah,
it's like they're breaking the fourth wall. No Deadpool to do that yet, though. But but yeah, it was a great episode. I thought I filled everything that I wanted to see all in one, and I thought it was pretty cool.
Again, we get another little glimpse of the dad. He's a very loving and caring father. To her, the mother, we definitely have more. We got more of a sense of the mother trying to keep her from. I can only assume that the mother knows something about these powers.
I think she does as well,
and she's trying to keep her away from it. So,
All right. Well, I think we covered this.
Yep,
as much as we can. So that was our coverage on Ms.Marvel. So on to podcast recommendations.
The only thing I've got for podcast recommendations this week is Strange Indeed on Podcastica. They're covering Stranger Things season 4. Even though Netflix dropped, the whole first half of the season, they're covering it week by week. And then when that show comes back for its last 2 episodes or 3 episodes, I can't remember. They'll cover it week to week again, but I regularly send them voicemails as well. So check out Strange Indeed if you're a Stranger Things fan.
Yep. I'm keeping up and I'm listening to them, both Paik and Rayma on Stranger Things, Strange Indeed on Stranger Things. I got to watch that in one full swoop, but I should go back and watch specific episodes again, just to refresh my memory.
Yeah, I've got to watch the next, I've only watched up through the last episode they podcasted on. So I've got to do the next one. I think they're podcasting this weekend.
Yep. I would definitely say Run for Your Lives. They've been covering a few episodes or movies that I liked. The last one I listened to is The Gate. I thought it was pretty cool. So I'm waiting on from when they do the new Jurassic World movie that's come out. So I'm looking forward to listening to that.
Absolutely.
Well, let's talk about how people could submit their feedback. Since we didn't get any feedback, but let them know exactly how to send feedback.
Certainly. Absolutely. You are, again, as we say every week, you're listening to us on your podcast player of choice, whether that's Google Play, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever you use. If there's a chance to give us a rating or review on there, we would love for you to do that. They will usually email us and let us know that review has come in. We'll give you a shout out here on the program.
Exactly. And you could check us out on our website, which would be panelspixelspodcast.com.
We are on Facebook, facebook.com/panels2pixels.
We are also on Twitter, and you can find us at panels2pixels, and that's panels and the number 2 pixels.
You can send us an email. We love to hear your voices in emails. You can send us an email at panels2pixels1@gmail.com. That's panels2pixels1, the TO spelled out right in the middle, and the number 1 at gmail.com.
Yeah, with that, you could actually just type out a regular email. We'll read it on the actual podcast when we record. Or if you'd like, if you want to record your voice, just like Steve does when he sends out feedback to everybody, just send it to us and then we'll play it and we'll listen to it as we're recording and we'll give our thoughts on what you had to say. So keep that in mind. We are currently on YouTube, as you all know. Obviously, the Kevin Smith interview for episode 200 is up. Go check it out there. It's also on our Facebook page. But definitely go to YouTube. Please subscribe. Give us a thumbs up if you like what we do. It's basically the podcast on YouTube. But all you have to do is search Panels to Pixels Podcast.
We are also on Instagram at Panels2Pixels Podcast. That's Panels2Pixels Podcast, all spelled out with letters.
Awesome. And we highly recommend you check out all the other podcasts on the Next Level Podcast Network. We highly recommend them all, especially Wilhelm with Ben Beck, as he does his interviews with celebrities, as well as the top 5s of a variety of different subject matters, whether it be an actor, a particular movie series, or genre. So check that out on Wilhelm. The Melting Pat, Podcast Zero, and there's so much more. All you have to do is go to nextlevelradioonline.com and check them all out there with their links.
Coming up, we have a lot of content that'll be coming your way. You're listening to Ms.Marvel. We are also covering The Boys on this feed. Coming up soon, we will start covering the Umbrella Academy as well when that drops. So you'll start hearing maybe multiple episodes with multiple podcasts on it or shows that we cover. So just check out our posts and see what you want to listen to.
Exactly. And where else can listeners hear us, Steve?
Well, I send voicemails, as I already mentioned, to our other friends' podcasts, and they usually play those, and they're very gracious to let me have my voice on their podcast. And so you might hear me on there or on Strange Indeed. But of course, you can always hear me right here on Panels to Pixels.
Awesome. Well, you could also hear me on my other podcast, Adrenaline Cinema Podcast, and that could be found on the Pyrocore Entertainment Network. There we cover action, adventure, fantasy, thriller, suspense movies. Currently, we're going to have a few episodes shoot up this week, so check them all out. I would say we're continuing our coverage on the Planet of the Apes series with Jerry and I. Top Gun Maverick, our review of that. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, go out, check it out. It's a combined effort between Watched It in the 80s, that's on Pyrocore Entertainment, as well as Adrenaline Cinema. So it's going to be the same podcast, but on both feeds. So that way we're expanding our audience. So check those out when they come out.
I look forward to hearing it.
Yeah, same here. And I did it. All right, so that was our coverage of Ms.Marvel, and I just want to thank everybody for listening. I'm Mark.
And I'm Steve.
And this was Panels to Pixels podcast, and we'll see you on the next panel. Good night, everybody.
Good night.